I'd like to welcome you to the show, to the show, to the show. Introduce you to me, introduce you to me. Hope you like what you see, baby. Hope you like what you see. I would like to welcome you to the show, to the show, to the show. Introduce you to me, introduce you to me. Give me something to talk about, talk about. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. You're looking so nice. Hey, we shining bright. I would like to sing for you a couple songs that I wrote, but let me clear my throat so I could give you something different than I did last time. I would like to propose a toast. Salute. May all you hold dear and close. Do right and keep you smiling for the rest of your life. So welcome you to the show, to the show, to the show. Introduce you to me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know I'm your host, Big Ran. Welcome to the Ran and Tone Show, minus Tone. But we always call him on the phone. We're going to get Tone on the phone in a minute. We're going to hit him up through the app and make sure he's in his house. We're going to have a surprise guest tonight. If I could get him on the phone, Mr. Joseph Pritchard, if I can get him on the phone. But first, let me get on in there and call Tone. Make sure Tone is with us tonight and everything else. Sorry for the interruption, but you know me. Let me hit up Tone first. Let me get Tone in, and then we're going to try to get all the group people in. And we're going to get into our group session. Hopefully, Mr. Ross will answer his phone. You know how Mr. Ross. Let's see if he answers his phone. So, just hold on, people, as we get to it. It's ringing. Let's see what happens. We get Mr. Ross one on the phone. Let's see if he answers his phone.
Hello.
What's happening there, Tony Tone? You in the house?
Oh wow, we in the house.
We in the
Another
house.
week.
Another week.
So we reaching out to people today.
We're going to reach other people today. I finally got it together, Tony Tone. We in the
All right then. All right.
All right, so let's
I was
see.
sitting down watching some Corona stuff just
Let's,
now.
okay. Hold on. I'm going to get some other people involved. Let me make a couple of phone calls.
Okay, go on, do what you got to do.
Let me see if I can get Mr. Pritchard on the line. Let me see now.
Okay.
Let me see. Let's see if we can
Pritchard
dial
on the
Mr.
line.
Pritchard. Okay, we ringing Mr. Pritchard. Let's see.
All right.
All right. Hello? Hello, Joseph? Mr. Pritchard, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Tony. Mr. Pritchard, Tony.
Can't see you though.
That's okay. We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh,
Mr.
let me put
Pritchard,
you
how
on
you doing?
speaker.
This is Tone.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Tone is in the
Mr.
house.
Pritchard, can you hear me? This is Tone from the Ran and Tone Show.
Joseph,
Hello?
Yeah,
can
Mr.
you
Pritchard,
hear?
Can you hear me?
I'm here. I
Joseph?
can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this
just
is
making sure
beautiful.
you can hear me.
Okay. So now we got two people on the line, and one is Tone, and one is Mr. Joseph Pritchard, and we're gonna talk about the last couple of weeks of us being quarantined. Now I'm gonna get one more person on the line to help us out. I'm gonna go and get Mr. Cherise Sheldon. She's been with us for a minute, so I'm gonna see if I can get her on the line, and let's see how that worked out. Let's see. Well, it won't let me do it. Won't let me do it. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if we can add another group member. No, won't let me do it. I guess two is the basis that I can get here. But anyway, I want to begin tonight, Mr. Pritchard. I want to thank you for being a guest on the Ran and Tone Show. We appreciate that more than ever, my brother. Are you there, Mr. Pritchard?
No problem. We know we go way back.
Yes, we do. First of all, I want to explain to the people who you are. You have a podcast on Facebook, which is a very good podcast, and it's a religious podcast, which I think is very outstanding. I follow you. I like it a lot. And Tone and I, we are We are not controversial, but we don't lean to one side. We both believe in God heavily. What I want to discuss with the three of us right now on the phone is I want to know how we all handling this quarantine because it made me think about a lot of things. Especially, let's start with this. Let's start with some of the people using TikTok. Let's start with you first, Tone. Go ahead and open up about the TikTok.
Okay, well, I don't know much about TikTok, so you have to enlighten me because I had a 13-year-old
That's
old
okay.
telling me about TikTok. So I really don't know about it. You can give me some understanding of it. And to make a little correction, I haven't been quarantined. So
Mm.
people, I've had to go to work throughout this coronavirus.
Yeah,
Vaccine is just coronavirus. I've been at work. I work in the emergency room.
you're a frontline worker. You
God
essential.
bless you. Thank you. God bless you.
Excuse me?
Definitely keeping you in prayer. That's awesome. You're really making the sacrifice, and we appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do.
We appreciate you, Tone. We appreciate you. Joseph, the reason why I asked you to be on the show, I thought you made a post, and I thought the post was beautiful. And basically, the post read that you have a lot of people who are sending out a lot of religious quotes. But you said under that quote that you have to be careful about what you say. Why is that, Mr. Pritchett? Especially in this day and time.
Well, it was basically from a preacher friend of mine. He Bishop Daniels, Cliff Daniels, and he basically said, well, we have to be careful of those that are prophetic, which we know that the gift of prophecy still is in this day and time. We have to remember what we say and how we say it, because some people will take it at heart, and they'll take it at heart, and they will act on their feelings instead of accepting it spiritually, which is very huge. We have to, as Christian brothers and sisters, have to be careful what we say to people, because it can be very, very detrimental, not only naturally but spiritually also. But as the scripture said, we have to be wise as serpents, but yet as gentle as doves.
Mm. Should we not share though?
I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I can definitely.
No, go ahead, Tom.
So I think that's
Oh, no.
that's what
Go ahead, let me
that's
finish.
what we have to be careful in, for all those that know. I am an ordained minister, and I do believe that we all have to be careful what we say and how we say it when it's put out there.
Yes.
And then to piggyback on what he's saying, I definitely can understand that. We spoke of that prior in one of our prior shows about it's not always about what you say.
It's how
you say it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people can interpret it the wrong way.
Yes, they
I
can.
think what we have to do as people who do speak out to others is to make sure we give proper explanation when we say certain things.
Right. Correct. And also, having a run, as being a chaplain, I used to do in New York Hospital where Queens is being hit pretty well. I'm pretty rough right now. I was interim chaplain there on the oncology ward, so I understand and know what they're going through. And then also as a chaplain, when people call or to want to talk to me and stuff, I have to be able to put myself in their place, because as my supervisor used to say, when you go into a bedroom, and I'm into a room in a hospital, you have to, you're not only going there to help a person, but you're there to learn about yourself. So even though when you are there in the emergency room, I'm very sure there's a lot of things that go through your mind, Tone, and stuff, and how you maybe even reflect on yourself. I don't know you, like I just met you, but there's maybe a lot of things that you reflect on yourself. That's what that is. We have to put ourselves in those people's shoes. That's what makes us so compassionate about what we do, especially about being a chaplain. We have to be compassionate about. So with me, it's kind of hard on me because I love being in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
and going to visit the sick and stuff. But right now, it is conducive that I was informed that, I can't be there. But,
Right.
and it's, if we do have someone there that is of that magnitude there, they're very overwhelmed. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to support one another.
Yes, yes, definitely. And again, it's funny that you should mention that because I've always preached at this job, not preach as in to people, but as far as my expression, I've always told even my managers and directors that I come in contact with that I'm not here for the job. I'm not here for y'all. I'm here for the patients.
Yeah, for the
I've even
people.
told patients
That's right.
that I treat patients as if they're my own family.
Mm.
And a lot of my coworkers really don't understand the passion that I have just to help out. I've had patients come back and really thank me, and then my coworkers look at me like, "Wow, you get that all the time?" Because I said that's what I put out. You receive what you put out.
Amen.
And
Right.
I have a friend that's similar to you that does what you do. That's at the hospital.
Mm.
And every time there's a trauma or something comes in that's really drastic and life threatening, he's there. And I see him and I meet with him and I expect him to be there
Right.
at that time because we all get paged at the same time when a life threatening trauma comes in.
Right.
We all get paged at the same time. So I know who I'm going to see at that particular point.
And the
And
doctors,
everybody,
right, and the
hmm
doctors count on the chaplains and stuff and everything, because we're not only there for the patients, we're also there for the staff, because
yeah.
you'd be surprised how staff is traumatized more than the patients are.
Yes, to see it consecutively, to see it one after the other. There
Right.
has been times we had 3 traumas back to back.
Right.
One was a bus that flipped over with some kids, another motorcycle accident, and somebody came in with a heart attack or stroke.
Because
So
I've
we're
seen
dealing with
people on
all 3 of these
ventilators.
things. hmm
Right, I've seen people on ventilators. I've seen people removed off the ventilators. I
Right.
had a call one night when I was at home and I was on call, and I had to get up out of my bed, get ready, get to the hospital, because the family requested a chaplain be there at time of death. I had to get to the hospital to be there for that family. So
Yes.
I know when the doctor gives the date and time and stuff, that's very, very heavy on a lot
Yes.
of families. So you can imagine now what a lot of families are going through.
I have a question.
Yeah. And
I have a
Mhm.
question. I don't mean to interrupt y'all, but I have a question.
Right, go ahead.
Are we looking at the end of days? Because in the Bible it does
that's
it does,
far. I think that's far fetched to look at it right now.
but in the
I would,
Bible it does
I would say,
says. Go ahead.
are we looking at end times right now?
Yes.
I would have to say no, because we have to be careful with that. Because no man knows the day or time
Right.
of what's going to happen. There's going to be certain signs and wonders that people have to look into biblically, and to get into that right now, we need to do some serious lessons to understand what that is. But I would say no. We're
I would
not in
agree.
end times. I believe we are still in the grace dispensation,
Mm.
where God is giving man grace
Mm.
to come to Him and to repent and to seek His face and
hmm
to turn from, as you say, their wicked ways. We're still in the grace dispensation, but this is a time of reflecting and being able to grow and to learn from this. So my answer is no.
Okay, so
I
you
definitely
feel
agree with that.
that he's teaching us a lesson, or are we looking at the beginning of the end of days? And what I mean by the beginning, sometimes you have to have trials and tribulation in order to see if certain things work. Do you think this is
Right.
one of God's trials and tribulations to let people know that the end of times is coming? Do you believe this is that?
I believe that it's an awakening. As far as it's still giving you time to make that ultimate decision of where you're going to spend eternity.
Why is it eternity?
And I believe my Christian brethren and sisters would agree with me on that. Those that are listening, that would agree with me on that. It's a time of an awakening, because you see as rapidly as a lot of believers are leaving here, and I would look at that as, hey, look, it's time for me to get to be ready. It's like if you understand biblically, I don't want, this is your show. I don't
No,
want
no,
to
no, no, no. Listen,
that's
listen.
it.
I called you for a reason. Listen, Joseph. I called you
But
for a
it's like the
reason.
10 virgins.
Okay, come
You know,
on, speak it.
five had oil in their lamp, and the others didn't. So when the bridegroom did come, which was representing Christ coming for the church, there were 5 ready, and there were 5 not ready. And then the 5 that weren't ready were begging for oil from the others, and they said, "Hey, look, I can't give you my oil because you should have been ready. You should have had your oil.
Amen.
So I have my oil. I can't give you my oil even from my lamp because I had to be ready for the bridegroom." And I don't think that's being selfish when he's giving us a chance to be prepared, to be ready for when he does come to take, as they say, to take away the church.
I want to elaborate on something, because when I first started, I said to Tone, I brung up the reason I brung up the TikTok and the reason why I brung you on.
Yeah, I come to find that out.
No, because there was a reason. The reason why I asked for the TikTok and then I stopped it and moved on is because I think what we're having right now is that a lot of people are so afraid of what we're going through. And myself, in my opinion, I don't believe we are in the end of days, but I do believe we are in our trial and error days. And I think some of the people know that. And I think a lot of people... Go ahead. No, go ahead. Please, Tone, go ahead. Please.
No, what I was going to say is I believe and support a lot of what he said about these are trying times, but I also have a little bit of my own direction to go as the trying times that we're going through and the awakening. That's what I wanted to hit on. You mentioned the awakening is of what we're doing to our own selves and to our own earth.
But we're afraid.
A lot of things that happen to us as a lot of things that happen to us as human beings, we bring on ourselves as a whole, as a people, as human beings. We bring on ourselves. How we test things. We test things upon our own people. We test things.
And I understand that.
I don't know how much of this is coming from
where we think is
a Lord aspect, as something he brought about, because it's not natural.
So you're saying it's like it's not a form of punishment from God. This is not a form of punishment from God. Now let's be careful about that.
No, this is a form of punishment that we brought on ourselves as human beings. You
have to be able to distinguish punishment and then things that mankind does. Because even when you look back at in the time of Moses, when the people were in slavery, let's say, and then God told Moses told Pharaoh to let my people go.
Right.
And then when God brought the plagues, that was a form of punishment towards the Egyptians, those that held the people that were the original Hebrew Israelites in slavery. I just want to make that notable. That held them in captive. He brought the plagues. He brought the flies. He brought the locusts. He brought the sores. He brought the boils. He brought all, so that he even went as far as, just like I said, during the Passover, brought the plague of the death of the firstborn, and the firstborn of Pharaoh died and stuff. So I would say that would be a form of punishment to recognize to this place, hey, look, you holding my people, let them go. And then so that final push of the Passover, Pharaoh broke down and said, get them out of here. I don't want them here. So I believe that's what Tony is trying to say.
Well, I'm spreading myself on this TikTok thing because I'm saying that I see a lot of people on TikTok, but I don't see a lot of praying. I see a lot of people asking.
Yeah, see, that's the
right. That's the reason why I brought up the TikTok.
That's what they call the foolishness of mankind. Now,
no, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Not to cut you off.
And you know, we like to laugh because we had our laughter back in the time. You know
yes.
that, man.
Yes.
You know.
I don't.
You know. So.
But I think this is. Not to cut you off. I apologize. But I think at this point in time, people use TikTok to hide their fear. The fear of catching an unknown virus. Yes. A fear of catching an unknown virus, I think it's a little dangerous to some of us because we're here today and some of us are going tomorrow. Some of us are using TikTok as a way out to as a relief to say, you know what? Because you can be under a lot of pressure at this day and time. It's a lot of things that can go wrong, will go wrong, and have gone wrong. That's why I brought out TikTok, because normally you got certain people who wouldn't even do certain
Right.
videos or do certain things. They're doing them. And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I just find it very interesting that in this days and
That's what I'm
time,
saying.
we don't have a
Well,
lot of
this-
prayer
this-
going on.
You have to see that app. I'm sorry, but that app was created
Mhm.
for young people. Just like they had the other previous things like not Black Planet, but all the others like Yahoo Messenger, certain things in the back of
MySpace,
the day
that
that was created
MySpace,
for
all
youth.
that, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
MySpace
Yes.
created for young people. Now, what's happening is the adults, and just like you said, maybe the boredom or people. I've seen it. I'll be truthful with you. I haven't done one yet. I have the app. Sometimes I'll be watching some of that stuff, and I'll be praying. I'll be like, some of these people don't need to be
Mhm.
on here. I'm like, look at this mess and all the ratchetness and stuff that's going
That's
on.
why
you
I
know?
stay out of
And
social media.
I did see one young girl that did release a TikTok about prayer. I can say that. But you have people that, just what I'm saying, laughter is good for the soul. People are trying, just like you said, Randy, are trying to hide their fears behind this
Right.
instead of dealing with, because some people can't deal with the original aftermath of what's going on. Just like me, I work in Amazon, as I was saying, and I'm an essential worker too right now. But right now I'm at home because it did hit my site, and especially in my area in Phil 7. And, so I said, I'm going to stay home this week, but I know I have to go back in, but they're not taking our time. They're not penalizing us with write-ups and stuff, because since I started this job, I've been faithful to it. And I've been there. I haven't had any absences, latenesses, or anything. So right now I have to, I guess, do what I have to do to be here with my family, because my family needs me. My family comes first. The money and stuff will be there, but if I'm laying up sick in the bed and fighting for my life right now, and yes, I do have faith. I'm a man of God and stuff, but my family comes first.
Amen.
That's the choice that God bless you with.
Yeah. Amen.
You know,
Whether you make that foolish choice or you make that choice that's gonna, you can lead a person to water, but if you can
Right.
give a person a meal, but if you teach him how to feed himself, he'll go longer in life.
right?
Amen.
Because God has provided for me this far. So why would I deny Him now? Believe it.
Yeah.
But if I deny Him now and not have faith in Him, I might as well perish. But
This
I
in your
have to
face will
trust Him.
strengthen the most.
I have to trust Him
Mm-hmm.
because He brought me this far. And the funny thing about this virus thing was, me and my wife went away on a Valentine's weekend. Back in February. I was looking forward to it. It happened. It was great before all this stuff started settling in. Don't you know, a week before that, in January, I got sick. I had a fever. I was actually at work. I got a fever. I went to the AmCare at my job, and they sent me home. So I came home, went through the 24 hours, and all that stuff. Before I went back to work, I got better. The fever broke and everything. And I'm wondering, was that a pre-image of what's going on now? Because I was throwing up, I was having all kind of craziness going on with my body, but then I got better. So now they said this thing happened back in December when they knew about it, and in January when they knew about it again. I'm wondering with myself, was that a prerequisite of what's happening now, or did I go through it but at a lighter stage?
Well, yeah, if I may, that's one thing that they're saying. They also saying there's a lot of people, the one that might have good immune systems or strong immune systems,
That's
or
the
stay
key.
basically healthy. Those are the ones that might have had it, and it could have passed through their body like a little one-day cold, and they didn't think nothing of it because it didn't really knock them down, have them laid out, and you could have been through this. That's why they're saying once we've gotten past this, they're gonna want everybody to get tested to see if there's even any strand that you might have had and you didn't even know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I may, Tone, what hospital do you work for?
In Stanford Hospital in Stanford, Connecticut.
Okay, well, my cousin lives in Connecticut. She's a correction officer out there.
Oh, okay.
Definitely gonna keep y'all on the prayer list, man.
Thank you. I
Definitely
appreciate
gonna
that.
put
We
y'all on my
just
prayer
got the
list.
military there. The military just set up something there. I believe it's the National Guard. We had an old wing of the hospital because it's a brand new. The building we're in now is brand new. It's now more than 3 years old, and it looks
Oh
like a
wow.
Trump
Okay.
Plaza. It looks like a Trump Plaza. I mean, they didn't cut any corners with this. This building has glass that's made to keep the heat out in the summer and keep the cooling, keep the vice
Right.
versa, keep the cooling in the summer and keep the heat out and keep the heat in the winter.
Right.
It has made with special stones. It is right now. It's a level 1 trauma unit where it has a heliport on top now. They
Wow.
really made
Okay.
some special advances there. But yeah, the military is all over. They're building a part of the parking lot. They're changing into a makeshift a unit where they're gonna have all the COVID-19 cases going there. I heard a lot of changes that's going to take place. Some of them I'm not even going to mention because I'm not supposed to mention changes that they're going to make. And I don't even know if it's 100% because I heard it underground on how they're
Hmm.
going to change the whole direction of the hospital. And we have a place called the Tully Center, which is our urgent care, but it's about the size of a hospital itself because
Yeah.
it has everything in it.
And now
But
with the thing, even with this thing with the TikTok thing, you got me thinking about it now. A lot of people are looking to become famous because you have to have so many hits and so
Yeah.
many
Yeah, I
people
mean,
watching your
so many
videos and
likes
stuff.
and yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So,
I'm not mad at
people
the
are
TikTok.
becoming very creative, though. You got to give it to
Yes,
them.
they're
I
very
like to talk
creative,
also
man.
on my other stuff. People are becoming very creative.
They're very
They're doing
creative.
some creative stuff.
They're very creative. I just think
They
that
have very,
I just think it's people who normally don't do it are on it, and that's what fascinated me. You'd be surprised what you see
You
and
gotta
what you
think they
do.
really have nothing to do right now.
But there's nothing for
So
anybody
how
to
do you
do.
think this government is? Well, we all have a compassion about this, and I know that he's there. Yes, he is. I can say president, and probably I would say even right now he's got a lot on his plate. But how do you feel how this government is handling this right now? Do you think we're being hoodwinked and bamboozled and sold wolf tickets?
Yes, to a certain extent. Yes,
I,
yes. I'm not gonna answer for Tone. I'm gonna answer
I
for
don't.
me.
I don't think they speaking with any control.
Yes. I'm gonna
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start it out, and I'm gonna answer this. First of all, it's
Yeah.
hard to it's hard to point the finger at anybody other than the people who are reporting what's happening. And the reason why I say that is because they
Right.
they knew this was going to happen before we did. And the fact that
They got forewarning, right?
yes, and the fact that you even believe that it was a hoax or you believe that it was something that wouldn't reach this side of the world, this is something this is a world epidemic. This is not something that's just happening in China and the US. This is all over the world. So my whole thing is, if this is happening all over the world, how could it be a hoax? We waited too long. Maybe the government
Right.
didn't handle it the way they should have, but they also didn't prepare us for what was coming. Now, you could make mistakes, but you have to forewarn the people that you're having trials and tribulations come their way. Right now, you
Correct.
you just have, by not fair warning, you didn't even give people time to look for jobs, even if they couldn't find anything. I mean, you got people out here with bad respiratory problems, people who can,
Yes, that's another thing.
who
Right.
live by themselves. You mean you have to give people fair warnings, and it's just too late. We didn't have to lose as many
But
lives
you
as
have
we
to-
lost. We didn't have to. I'm sorry,
All right,
we
but you
just
have
didn't
to
have
look at it like this also.
Yes.
Even though they did have a forewarning of this, you have to look at our community. I'm looking at our community right now.
Yes.
Our community it's very bad because a lot of our people in our community already have pre-existing conditions.
Right.
They have health issues. They have
Mhm.
asthma, and you see
I was
allergies.
just thinking
so
the same
many other
thing
things.
today.
But you see how people are living in the projects with roaches, chip paint, bad air circulation. They're living like this from day to day.
All that gave them them
Right, and all the
That's
other
right.
pre-existing
That's right.
conditions and-
That's why they shifting it to the minorities now. They saying, oh, it's the
Right.
minorities are being attacked
These are
because of how our immune system has been broken down by how we've
Right.
been living.
The food we
That's a
eat,
good point.
The things.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
hold on.
I thought about that earlier today.
The food we eat,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
diet, our diets,
Mhm.
all this stuff,
Yep.
not
Exactly.
building up our immune systems and those that do it build their immune systems and stuff and everything. But the stuff that they put out here in the food markets and the places where we eat
Yeah.
and the stuff that we eat.
You're
and
right
stuff and
about
everything,
that.
That played a very big important role in this.
Yes,
You're
it
right,
is.
it does.
We're
Yes, it
diabetic. We got
does.
high blood pressure. We have obesity, and this is within that takes a majority of the minority.
And they
And you
knew.
being in the hospital, you see a lot of that.
And they
That's
knew.
all you see.
And they know every person who's
That's
suffering
all you
from
see.
some type of medical situation.
hmm
And they let it
Look
happen.
what he
They let it
Yeah, look
happen.
what he did. He cut Obamacare. Obama put something in place. They had something in place. They had a pandemic team.
Oh,
They
wow.
had a pandemic team in place.
Mm.
They
That's
had
right.
I saw it
surplus in
today.
place.
I
They had
saw it
all this
today.
stuff in
It's
place.
on Ballers something. I can't think of the name of it.
They had all this stuff in place. They had the pandemic team. We had stockpiles. We had all this stuff in place. And this, I don't want to call names.
Careful,
Calling names is
careful,
not
yes,
gonna
careful,
solve anything.
yes,
careful.
I agree with you.
Careful.
Calling names is not going to solve anything. But this person,
If I may,
this person came and removed all of that because he wants to ruin somebody's legacy, and knowing
Yes.
that this would have helped the people and done for the people, because people had a chance with Obamacare and stuff and everything.
Mm.
They had a place to be able to go and afford affordable health care,
That's
because they
right.
don't want to give this country free health care.
Come on, preach
I
it, preach
saw a
it, baby.
piece
Go
today,
ahead.
not to cut you off.
Dude.
Wait a minute, listen. I
Come
saw a
on,
piece
man.
today. I saw a piece today.
That's why I got the
Obama
Reverend
made a
on,
preach.
man.
It was, I can't remember the date. It's in 2014. He spoke about this. He spoke about something he was putting in place. The same thing that you talking about, that he's sending specialists and scientists away. He spoke
fired
about this. He said in 5 years to 10 years, if we continue, when we had the other epidemic, Ebola,
Yeah.
when we had the Ebola,
That's
he
right.
said he had a team set up. So if it ever happened before, we'll be more prepared. The pieces on Ballers, I can't think of the complete thing, is Baller something.
Here's the
I'm gonna get it
$1,000
on
question.
my phone. Mm-hmm.
Here's the $1,000 question, guys.
$1,000 question.
$1,000 question. Because ain't
I
nobody
could
can
use the
afford it.
money.
That's it.
Yeah, $1,000 question. Can we
That's it?
sue the
Okay.
government right now? Can we
There's
put
no
it?
sue
A lot
the
of lawsuits
government.
after this.
Can we
There's
have
gonna
a
be lot of lawsuits.
can we have a class action lawsuit against the government?
Yes,
Now, let's be
there's gonna
careful
be one, I believe.
because we all have podcasts. We don't want to get kicked off. Trust me, Tone and I know. You
Okay,
talk too
let
tough
me ask
about
the
the
first
government,
question.
they'll slap us around. But let's go. Let's talk. Come on.
Let me ask the question. What is your what is your line of defense
Such
as
as
far as the lawsuit? Such as what is your line of defense? What are you suing
Four.
for?
time.
Correct.
Time and awareness. Yes. As much as you may think.
No, you got to give more explanation than that.
But
What
just
do you
look,
mean
I
time?
had a
I
friend,
mean, whatever.
I'm
Hold
sorry,
on,
guys.
hold
I
on,
had a
Pritchard.
friend-
Hold on, Pritchard. It's whatever you can say that comes under time. Time and preparation in a class action suit. In this case, we should have been given at least 3 to 4 months advance on what was happening, and we weren't.
Okay.
Right.
And
so
he
you're
admitted.
basing
Now
the
you gotta
lawsuit on their negligence
Yes.
of
yes
time.
of time, but you have to understand.
Okay.
He also
I'm just trying to understand it in a legal form. I'm just trying to understand it in a legal form.
he got on national TV and he admitted it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he thought it was a hoax. That right there can open the door to any type of lawsuit a person could think of that could stand in court.
But the thing is, right now, will
Mm-hmm.
it stick? Because you know how he flows.
Yes.
It doesn't
The best
see. Here's
You know how
lawyer.
he flows.
here's the thing. It
So
doesn't
will
have to
best-
stick.
Will it stick?
Mhm.
It doesn't have to stick. It just have to be known. Because even if you lose, you very seldom gonna beat the government. Let's just get that right. You barely beat the city. You're not gonna beat the government. It very rarely
Because the city
happens.
settles with you. The city will settle.
And I believe the government will
cities
settle
will
with
settle
you
with
too.
you.
But you have to be careful
No,
because
the
they
government's
could.
not going to admit that much wrong.
No.
You got to think of the person you're talking about.
But they could be settling
Right.
with us right now by sending out them stimulus checks. Just because you hear
They're
a
not
person,
selling with us.
listen. Just because you hear a person
That's
tell you
part of
why,
their
Settlement.
business plan anyway. That's part of their business plan anyway.
Yeah, that's their business plan to make
That's
money
their
back.
business plan. Yeah, they get money. He's doing all this to get this money, so when he's out of office, he don't have to worry about being in the office.
and then you're going to be taxed on that money.
I
Yeah,
know you're gonna be
it's gonna
taxed
come
on
back
that.
to
It's
us.
gonna come.
It's gonna come back
It,
to
it
us.
just
You can
occurred to
believe
me.
that.
It just occurred to me why the liquor stores and the weed dispensaries are being held open. Not because people think it's because of hard time. I just realized that's direct taxes to the government. So they can use that extra money. And you know
Right.
what? As much as I hate to say it,
And
they
it,
know that people are going to buy liquor and weed in this time. They just know it's going to happen.
and then,
I told you
even check
that
this
two
out.
treat.
Him
Hmm.
with that drug. I'm sorry, with that drug. All him and all three of his children had stock in that drug. That's why he was
What did I
pushing it.
tell?
Because
I
the more
told
you
Tone
sell it,
that.
when you look at the
Go ahead.
when you look at the pharmaceutical market today,
Read it.
I follow the stock market and everything. And when you look at it, they buy certain things. Certain things are trending. You got to watch the trend of these things. And him and his
Hmm.
children have stock in that drug. That's why they push it, because now if they can
Hmm.
get the pharmaceutical company to make more of the drug, sell it, get the doctors to push it, now they're political drug dealers.
He makes
And you
more
talk
than
about the drug dealer on the
than
street.
$2 trillion off that medicine. He makes. Let me
I
tell you
told
something.
you, but the way he's gonna fund it, he's gonna. I'll tell you, he's gonna flip that 2 trillion, pay everybody what they supposed to pay off, make them maybe a half a trillion off on the end of that
You talk
for
about a
himself and
Ponzi
that private.
scheme.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pyramid.
exactly. I've been saying that since they first started talking about that $2 trillion.
See, that's why I'm
All
asking
of a
you.
sudden, at the end of his, hmm.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tone. No, finish, because you're making
Now,
sense. Go ahead, please.
No, 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 no. I was done because I can't say anymore.
Well, my thing is,
If you say anymore, you're getting a little too
you
political.
get a little too
That's why you
political.
yeah,
got to know you.
But
You
this
got to
is
know when to
why.
stop.
Okay, so let's go
We
back to
understand
the.
what's being said.
Let's go back to my original question of can we
Go
have a
ahead.
class action suit? Because
I
we
say
know.
we can, because look at the people, real quick, Randy, real
Yes,
quick. Look at
yes.
the people that are dying. I had a friend that's close. Matter of fact, it's my son. He's in the Marines. His uncle, his sister that's in New York, that lived in Promenade, I believe, somewhere in that area. If you know Promenade, I'm
Hmm.
very sure you do. Um, in that area of Flushing, was sent to the hospital. That this woman was sent back home, and during the ambulance ride home, she died in the ambulance.
I know 4
Ooh.
people that happened to. I know 4 fucking people.
See,
Excuse me.
so
Excuse me.
you talk about now, what if that group of people get together after this is over, because these doctors sent these people home knowing they should have stayed
Right.
there?
You know what?
That's a class action lawsuit
Go ahead,
right
Tone. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Tone,
but you
because
know what?
you
I've
know.
been hearing.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Go
Wait a
ahead,
minute.
Tone.
I've been hearing it from New York, from people in New York.
Go ahead, Tone.
I heard it from my first lady. She said that she even called them and they told her not to come to the hospital, even if you have symptoms.
Mm.
But she was wondering, where do we go to get tested? And for people who don't know, I'm glad I can put this out there. In Bay Plaza, where the movie theater is at, I think it opens up Tuesday, or is it tomorrow?
Right.
I think it's tomorrow. It opens up where you can go and get the tests for people who do want the test and might be listening. I believe it opened up. We Googled it and everything. It opens up Tuesday. I think it's Friday or Tuesday, but please Google it if you're interested in getting the test. It's going to open up in the Bronx, because she was adamant, because there was no place in the Bronx that was giving the test. They had places in Staten Island and in Queens, and they really had nowhere. And it startled me because I didn't know nowhere in the Bronx. So that's the first place that I came up with that's going to be. It's supposed to open up. I can't remember the date. It's either Friday or it's this Tuesday, but I think it's Friday. I think it's tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can Google it. Just Google the coronavirus test in the Bronx location, and then it'll give you the date and time. Okay, and so we can go back to what we started. I just remembered that. I just wanted to make sure I put that out there for people who might be listening and who want to get tested or know somebody that needs to get tested, because I'm
That's good
hearing the Bronx
information.
was having.
Yes.
I'm hearing the Bronx was having a real problem, and I live in the Bronx. I might work in Connecticut, but I live in the Bronx, and I know where I work, and I don't want to really. I keep putting out there where I work, but people will charge up that way, because the treatment up there is much different. Is much different. Your life means something. I hate to say it like that, because I only say it because I've been to the hospitals and I've worked with the hospitals in the Bronx. And I'm not saying because of their skill. I'm saying it because of the overcrowdedness. The overcrowdedness, and the nurses that are overworked because there's limited. Each nurse probably have 7 patients, whereas at different hospitals they might have 3 or 4. So that's more care, individual care for you. So that's what I'm basically getting at. And when you can go to a place where your word matters and your complaint matters, because I've seen complaints about the ferry that don't go nowhere, just going to stack of papers and we'll get back to you. I'm talking about your complaint will be addressed that day, not wait for a call back.
Okay, guys,
Well,
I'm going to
true.
end. Go ahead. I want to end it with something tonight that I think a lot of us are probably not shocked at, but it's happening. They are getting ready to use our city parks as burial grounds for the people who pass away for the coronavirus.
Oh, what?
What do we have? What are we going to think? What do we think about
Wait,
that? Yes.
whoa. City Park.
Yes, let me name some of the parks that they're
Burial
planning on
ground.
use. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some of them are in Flushing, Queens. Some of them in the Bronx. I think it's Pelham Bay Park in the Bronx. That's the biggest park in the Bronx. I'm not sure which your biggest park is in Queens, Joe. I want to say Flushing Park.
Well, yeah, I'm no longer. Well, that would be Baisley Park.
Baisley. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, Baisley Park. But yeah, that would be Baisley Park.
They
So
are.
they're gonna make these in the cemeteries?
They're gonna
Is that
make
what you're
them-
saying?
Yeah, they
Yes.
said
Yes, they're trying to. Ain't this something? Why? And then here's the thing too. Along
I mean,
with that,
it is
too-
a dilemma.
But then you see, you still have people who are technically, I don't want to say because I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going by hearsay, because you still got people who are being burnt, and loved ones are not getting that call. So it's a lot going on.
I don't know about that. That's what you. I haven't heard
Yes.
anything on that side, and I was
Right.
about to mention that
Okay.
because the reason being, people are trying to find burial places,
Right.
and they're being turned away.
They have
Because
to.
Because
the
they
funeral
say
homes are overloaded.
They're overcrowded.
Exactly. I know people who are looking for places now for their loved ones, and they can't find it.
Okay, so should we be using our parks? You have to remind you now.
I
These
don't
That's-
understand the
that's
concept of
That's a
that. I
call-
really don't
that's a
understand
call
the
on governors
concept of
and the
that.
Mayors. I would say that's a call on the governors and mayors.
I think it goes beyond that. I think that's a call of the people, because you got to,
Yeah.
mean, I understand that you want to be able to place people's loved ones,
somewhere.
but wow.
Somewhere.
Yeah, but wow. And I mean, I can't be, because I can't be just not willing to say, oh no, automatically, but because some of those loved ones are going to be mine, it's going to need to be buried somewhere.
Right.
And I see the difficulty now. It is just to find a funeral home,
Trust
not
me,
even a
man.
burial site,
Trust me, as a person who's
a burial place.
yeah.
Yeah.
lost friends and family, man, and right now I have no idea where nobody's at. I have no, and this is
Wow.
what they.
Yeah, that's true.
This is what they're saying. New York City considers temporary graves for virus victims. So it's a temporary grave site, which means that they're probably going to use the military, and what they're probably going to do is have them laid out in tents on the grass field. That's the way I look at it.
What?
But according to the story here, they're looking to bury people 6 to 7 feet deep. So I don't know.
That's a burial. That's a burial.
Yeah, but it
6 feet
says
deep, that's a burial.
temporary on public grounds.
Temporary.
Yeah, I don't. How do you make man?
So so wait a minute. So you're gonna do it like when you tow somebody's car? You're gonna tow the car there until the family can find somebody to bury it?
I guess so. But then what
I'm not-
happens? Does that leave
That
it
concept
contagious?
just sounds really strange.
It does.
Huh?
It does. It sounds very
Does
strange.
that what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
No. It
Oh.
sounds very strange.
Yeah, I would like to see how they plan to do that.
Let me tell you what it says.
I don't want to be the one to make that decision.
It says we need to do temporary burials to be able to tide us over to pass the crisis, and then work with each family on the appropriate arrangements. We have the ability to do that, he said, adding we may well be dealing with temporary burials so we can deal with each family later. Man,
Didn't I just say that? And I never heard of it. I just said that. It's going to be like when they tow your car. We got the body. When you get somewhere to put it, we can dig it back up and take it where you need to take it.
No, I'm sorry.
But right
Just
now,
cut
we
in real
can't
quick.
deal with it.
But check this out. Check this out. It says the Trump administration is reportedly cutting federal resources for coronavirus testing sites at some states struggling to ramp up testing. Now, this stuff, you can't make up this stuff. Why is this stuff happening? I know the ultimate answer that people are doing, but why are you cutting money from these testing sites?
Because they believe we
So
coming
wait a
down
minute.
off
Is
the
he
peak.
saying because wait a minute? Is he saying because they have limited testing, so
It
he's going to
says
cut
here,
back
it
some of
says
their
here,
testing?
it says here the Trump administration is reportedly cutting federal resources for coronavirus
Right.
testing sites
Mm,
as
mm,
some
mm,
states
mm.
struggle to ramp up testing.
So I don't know if he's saying that they're not testing enough, or it's not enough people there to be tested, so they're going to take half or whatever they. In other words, they got too much in a certain little small state, like something like Kansas or something that might have 200
Right.
cases. They might have 2,000 worth for testing sites. They probably don't need it. So if he's talking about that type of cutback, but I don't know if maybe I'm misunderstanding. That's one of them things that have to be explained a little more, so I don't get the wrong
Right.
interpretation.
Right.
I mean,
Now,
so
I'm
I
not
don't
trying
get
to
the
put
wrong
out the wrong
meaning.
interpretation. I just caught my eye.
No. I know that. I know that. I'm not saying you. I'm saying you read it the way you saw it. But the government has a tendency to put things so general that you will come up with the wrong
Right.
assumption.
Right.
Well, I'm read through the
That's what I'm
article. I
trying to
also
say.
have, just said to read through the article now because I know he said
Uh-huh.
it's going to end. But
I'm
I'm gonna,
definitely gonna look into that,
Mm.
yeah,
and with the burials in the parks and our
Mhm.
local parks.
That's
yeah.
that-
But that is true. That's up to the people. Yeah.
mm. Gentlemen, yo, Joseph, I want to
If you don't
thank you.
mind, Randy,
Yo, go ahead, please. Go
Huh?
ahead. Go ahead,
if
brother.
you don't mind, if Paul, could I say a little prayer before we?
Man, you could, man,
Oh,
please.
definitely.
We need this prayer. Go ahead, brother. Please.
Bless you, man. Lord, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this talk tonight, oh God. Lord, we ask you, Lord, to
Amen.
bless the Tone and Rand show as they continue to do what they do, oh God.
Amen.
Lord, now we ask you, Lord, to look across this nation, these hospitals and the families that are being touched by this virus, oh God. Lord, we need you, Lord. We know that you're the ultimate source right now, oh God, that's going to bring healing to this land. We pray for this government and the things that a lot of even the wicked men are doing and the behind the scenes stuff that's going on. Lord, I ask you, Lord, to cover the emergency room, to touch Tone, oh God, to cover his staff,
Amen.
the people in his hospital, Lord, and everyone that's, all the nurses and the doctors, oh God, that are putting in their all, and everyone that's an essential worker everywhere, oh God, right now, Lord, to touch them and keep them, oh God, as we get through this. We know you're going to bring us through this storm, and we ask you, Lord, in your Son, Jesus' name, and we thank you for this. Amen and amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
That's what it is, Joseph. Thank you. Listen, I want to thank
You're
you tonight, Joseph, man, for being a guest. Please don't hesitate to call me to be a guest on your show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be calling you in the future.
Yes.
To, you're going to be the Reverend for the Rand and Tone show. I even though you didn't ask, I'm going to make you the Reverend for the Rand and Tone show.
Bless you, man.
And I will say, Joseph, it was nice meeting you.
Yes.
Yes.
And I wish your family peace and blessings.
Amen.
Thank you, and you stay safe, brother. Both of you.
All right, Joe. You can go ahead, hang
Thank
up,
you.
and
You
I'll
have a
just
good
click
night.
you out, Joe.
All right.
Talk to you later, Joe.
Peace.
All right, brother.
All right.
All right.
God bless.
You too, man. See, he disconnected from the line. Okay, Joseph is gone. He disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
That's, Tone is something we got to look into. And I want to, first of all, I want to thank you for have that confidence in me to do what I'm doing right now. For you to give me that time to say, you know what, Rand, you could put this together. It turned out to be a beautiful thing. We got a lot of insights on a lot of things. So I kind of like this. Even when we get back together after the coronavirus and we're able to do our videos together, we'll still be able to have live calls with live conversations with people. Problem is if they pick up the phone. But
Sounds good. That just shows our growth.
what's
Through times. See, this only shows through time of adversity of what we're going through.
Amen.
It still shows room for growth.
Amen.
And even going back to what's the name of the site that you said everybody's on now? Supposed to be
TikTok.
for kids.
TikTok.
Just like TikTok. I mean, people are on there, they have more time and the mind they experiment. People experiment when you have more time.
Yeah, but I
They just
don't
experiment with things that could always do.
I don't think TikTok is for kids. I just find it funny how you
But it
have
was
a
the
lot
kid
of
who brought it to
people.
my attention.
was you have a lot of people who are using it now, like who really wasn't using it before. So I only brung it up to say that when people are nervous in these days and times, you will be surprised what people will do with their social media right now. You know, they and it's funny. I'm not gonna lie, because it is definitely making a lot of people laugh. Some of the stuff I have to say is very amazing. That people are very talented, but it just goes to show you what a person can do when they scared. It's hard. It's just
No,
hard.
it's not about being scared. I'm talking about their ability to show certain skills that they probably didn't even know they had that they're doing now because they have so much time. As
Mm,
far as people being scared, people have always been scared of the unknown. You got to understand, as a nation, we are so spoiled by our lifestyle when there are certain people who this is just ordinary life for them in these countries that's really doing bad, these second and third world countries.
yeah,
This is second nature to them. Infestation and bug disease and death, all that is second nature to them. They expect that on the regular. We're not a nation that expects that on the regular. So when we receive it, we don't know how to act. We
yeah.
forget where we came from, basically.
No,
We
I
forget the
don't.
day. Well,
I don't forget where
mhm.
we came from. I just,
I didn't say you. I said we as a people.
yeah, you did. You did
We
say
said
that.
we get spoiled. We get spoiled with the way we living now. Come on, we get so spoiled the way we living. We got a virus that damn near took us out, and then we running crazy like a chicken with our head cut off. With what I mean, because we don't know. This is an unknown thing. This is something I can't say that could have been prevented, but we could have been much stronger in handling it. That's from the beginning. Whether it started in 2014 and Obama said a speech based on something that could happen, and he
Right.
happened to hit it on 5 years. He hit it right on the date. He said a speech in 2014
Mm-hmm.
that spoke about he had put together a team when he had the Ebola scare. That's why
Mm-hmm.
Ebola didn't get that far,
Mm-hmm.
because he jumped on it quick. He went where Ebola started, found out what's the cause and what's the cure, and came and we had it available, and life loss was very limited.
I just, I
That's
have to agree
basically
with
it.
a
And
lot of
we didn't
things
do that.
what Joseph said when he said, I do believe they try to do certain things to get us, to lean one way. He tried to erase a legacy, but you know what? We kind of helped him. We kind of helped him because as we can demand a lot of things if we stick together. A vote is powerful, and we don't use it. A lot of
And
people
vote
don't
is
use.
powerful.
Yeah, a lot of people don't use their platform the way they should, and as I can say that for myself too. But I think this is going to change what we're going through right now. This quarantine, I think, is going to change a lot of people to do a lot of things different. I think a lot of things are going to be
Well,
done different.
we hope it's for a positive.
Yeah,
That's all we can say. We can hope for a positive. We hope that a lot of people take all of this, because a lot of people are definitely taking negative on how their family's been hit with loss of life. It's hard if people don't have God in their life the way we all should. Then people have a tendency to slip to a negative side when negative things happen.
it's funny. I read a post that says, of all the NBA players and all the celebrities, they can't help you right now. And it's funny that the most important person in the world right now is the doctors and the nurses. Right now at this time. And the
You
scientists.
said the doctor.
The doctors and the nurses. They're the two most important.
Well, they always been the most important.
But
They always been most important because they the want to save life
yeah, but
and give
people don't.
life.
Most people don't look at it that way. Most people would rather.
Shit.
Most people would rather meet a basketball player than meet a doctor. And I understood the quote that she put up, the post that she put up, and it was
You talking about-
actually
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of
it
sense.
makes a whole lot of sense. In these days and time, your idol or your hero or whoever you may perceive that person to be
Hmm.
is not more important than the doctors and the nurses and the scientists right now who are dealing with this stuff one on one. This is something that's going to be talked about for a long, long time because there's a lot of people that passed away. This coronavirus
Yeah,
is
well,
going to be with us for a
a
long time, even
it's a
after
life
it's done.
changer.
Yes, it is. It changed a lot of people's lives. It gave a lot of people a different outlook. Me is one. Me is one. It
Well, it
made
ain't
me.
over yet.
Yeah.
It ain't over yet.
No, it ain't.
We
We
might
far
be
from
just
it.
at the halfway point.
I don't even think we're at the halfway point.
But
I think we're going to peak at the end of May
I think
and then
people
come
think
down.
right. We're not at the peak. The peak,
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, halfway would be the peak. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think we're at the peak yet.
No, we won't peak until the end of May. And the reason why I say that is because
Nah,
in my mind,
I say the end of April.
I believe the temperature is going to determine how long this virus lasts. Because the hotter it gets, the faster it's
Think
going to
so?
dissipate. Yes, I believe that's one of the things that we're blessed that it hit us at the time the summer's coming. Because if this was hitting us in the dead as winter was coming in, we would have to survive this whole winter. You're talking about a good 6-7 months of winter. You're talking about from October maybe on down to March. That's a long
It's a
time.
Mars. That's what it basically it almost did. It just came. It happened to come slow actually, but then it hit hard at the end of December into January is when it hit hard.
But it didn't hit hard until we got cold days. Because mind you, in the days that we were having
Oh yeah, because
nice
it was
weather. Right. We was
warm
having
at
nice
the
weather.
end. Yeah, you're right. It was warm. We had days in June. I mean, in December that was 60 degrees.
Yes. So
You're right.
it didn't hit us. It only hit us when our
we'll
temperature
see.
dropped to a certain degree, maybe 30 degrees or better. So right now, I'm in my heart, what I believe from what I'm reading, from what I'm watching, from what scientists are saying, well, what they're telling, once we get to the end of March, I think we will be at our peak. Well, at end of May, excuse me, we'll be at our peak because by then, everyone
I
in
think
this,
it's loaded.
yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
loaded.
Because if you
I
ain't
mean,
catch it, if you didn't catch
April.
it by the end of May, you're not gonna catch it. If you didn't catch it by the end of May, you're not gonna catch it. April is the, but the end of May, if you ain't got it, you got to thank God and move on because we
But
starting to
not this
come around.
April. This April is not like a regular April. That's why I say that.
No, that's what I'm
We
saying.
already getting 60-degree
We went-
days.
right.
So I think that the end of April, when the 1st of May, it's going to be warmer than last year, 1st of May.
Yes,
That's
it
what
will.
I'm trying to say.
And I believe that's the mercy of our
So
Lord.
that's why I'm saying I think it's going to come a little sooner.
Well, let's hope
But
so.
that can be a poison just as good as an antidote.
But the
'Cause
thing
you
is,
gotta
we are
remember,
both on a.
if it's that temperature like that, our ozone is breaking down, and our Arctic is breaking down.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It could be a poison and an antidote.
Was you able to hear him real clear tonight?
Yes, I was. Yeah,
Yeah, I actually,
it was very comfortable conversation. I didn't have to strain. I heard every word he said.
and it's funny because when that stuff got damaged in the what's the name, they actually let me redo a lot of stuff from Amazon, so I was able to order some stuff with the same price in which they paid for. And I got to say, the unit that we in, our storage unit, extra storage, I happen to think they're well-rounded people, very, very respectful. I have a lot of respect for them because they did replace a lot of the
What did
stuff.
they do for you?
Yes, they did. A lot of the stuff that I were able to get receipts for, because you ordered through Amazon, so it was easy. So they were able to look it up.
Oh,
And
yeah?
Yes. So I got a lot of stuff replaced, not from the people from West Farms. It didn't come from them. It came from the people. They only put in a claim, so I already know. But they sent me. They allowed me to get.
Oh, so they honored the claim with whatever
Well,
insurance
they
company
didn't.
use or whatever.
They didn't just honor the claim. I like the guy said the stuff that was in there was media savvy, and you don't have people who just have that type of stuff laying around. The cameras, the lights, and everything. So, like he said, if you give me time, I will replace what I can. What my company allows me to replace, I will replace, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I was buying new stuff anyway, so hey. And the thing is that you know how sometimes you can order something and you order it and you always go for the cheaper price. Well, this time I found the same thing for the same price, better quality. You hear how clear we are talking right now? It's like you're sitting in the room next to me. So you're right. It is a lot of things, No, it does. It sounds better than it was before.
That's on your end.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. Try to get the man to, boy, I tell you something else, boy. You are something else. I'm going to wrap up tonight, but I want to thank our guest, Mr. Joseph Pritchett. Hopefully next time we on and we podcast, we can get a lot more people to call in. Once they see the video, they know to call in. They can catch us on the DM. I'm going to start putting the thing up. Listen, we're about to go live. You can call the show. You can DM us in the show, and we'll answer. Now that I know we can group chat, yeah. Now that I know we can group chat.
Yeah, that was very good. I don't know if we could go beyond 3 people, though.
I don't know.
I guess we'll try it one
I'm
day.
going to try it. I'm going to try to see.
That worked good with 3 people.
Yes, it
but
did.
I don't know if we can go beyond that.
Do you think if we
it might be
have-
a little congested? I think
Right.
that worked pretty good today.
Right. I can do 2 on the inbox and 1 on the line, but when we get to that point, we'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. But
You always try to stretch another mic in there.
oh man, I listen.
All right, we'll see later on.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
It was a good one.
All right, my
I
brother.
like today. I like this show. We're gonna close. I'm gonna get some sleep. Get
Go
ready
ahead,
for
get you
another
sleep, man.
day.
Go
Make another
ahead.
dollar.
Get your sleep. I'm gonna close out the show, man.
All right. I'll holler at you later
I'll
on.
let
Peace
you
and
later
love
on.
to all of y'all out there. God
All right.
bless.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Rand and Tone Show. We want to send all condolences out to everyone who may have lost someone in these times of trouble. We are here to help. If we are here to talk, if you need help, you want to talk, just talk. We'll be on. We'll try to get everybody in to make sure that we, but let's take care of ourselves, people. Let's do a little better for ourselves so we don't have to really hurt nobody. All right? Until then, sorry for the loud way it came in, but we're getting ready to get up out of here. I'm not the greatest engineer in the world, but I ain't the worst. This is Big Rand for the Rand and Tone Show. We want to thank everybody for listening to our show. Thank our guest, Mr. Joseph Pritchett. Make sure you check out Mr. Joseph Pritchett on Facebook. He has a very nice podcast show. I like it very much. Until we meet again, people, till Big Rand gets on, I am starting a solo podcast show. And I'm trying to get Tone to do one too. But I'm starting mine. Mine is going to be Cancer for the Soul, because I am a cancer talking for your soul. So until then, we love you, man. Y'all have a good one. Good night, people.
All I wanna do is make you smile in the best of ways. We done been through a whole lot, but we here, baby. No ifs and buts and no maybes. You done gave me some boys, I done made some noise, but I bought us some toys, so we live and enjoy. And I was always about what you can have and what you want, girl. I make sure it's warm in this whole world. When your friends say friends the same, cause she don't like how I keep buying you things. What's wrong with her? She need to change the way she living, how she giving the love that she giving. What's wrong with them? They mad cause the family matching. When we hopped up out of the wagon, I told her.
Made my mistakes and all, but all I want is love unconditional. Love unconditional. I don't deserve it, no, but it would be worth it all. All I want is love unconditional. Love unconditional.
We can marry in New York.